Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to Unity of Command, the Blitzkrieg DLC. So, we are in the second scenario, trying to push deeper into Poland and maybe attack northern Warsaw here. Now, we have made some good progress, I think. We are relatively good on timing, I think, a little bit at least. So, that's good. The downside is we have taken some very serious casualties. So, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do about that. Ooh, we could actually, you know what, I did not see that, but you know what, let's go ahead over here and attack these guys. That is very nice, so that does give us some benefit here. And that does mean we can push up with this cavalry here and at least get on this side of the river. And these guys here should be out of supply next turn, so that's pretty nice. And you guys, you know what, you can move forward as well. So that's all good. Now, we have taken some casualties, although we are also getting some reinforcements here. So, let's start out, I guess, with these Panzer Divisions. They do have the SDKFZ, which is pretty useful, I think. We could actually think about pushing these guys up on this side. Well, I'm not entirely sure. We've also got these guys down here. We've got some motorized divisions over here. But especially the recon variant down here is super useful. We've also got some tanks. Now that is very interesting. Now the tanks, they do have some pioneers. And that does mean that these guys do actually have some capabilities here of potentially attacking these units here. Right, let's also deploy the motorized division. So I am thinking you probably are going to be a little bit worse. But are you really, though? It's not entirely sure that you are, actually. So, really pretty much exhausted all of our attacks. You could actually attack, which is interesting. And that would give a 50% chance that these guys would withdraw. We might actually just be able to take this guy out this turn, which would be fairly lovely because it would free up all of this movement down here. I'm not sure it would do a lot in terms of supply, but actually it would allow this road here to be captured for us, so that is quite tempting. It honestly is. Wait a minute, didn't you guys have pioneers just a second ago? Did I misclick or something? Are these gone? No. Right. So that does leave us with a one-on-one attack out here. And a 70, but you know what? We're going to take that. Did take the casualty there, but that's alright. Because I think now we can move into this hex over here. That's particularly lovely. Good. Let's look at our supply situation. Oh, that's very nice now. Good. Now, ideally, I would also like to take that hex because I think it does allow more movement down here. But with these guys being recon variants, we might just as well try to push up down here so that we can take them on a little bit more. Right, you guys pretty much all exhausted your movement except for you. You guys are fine. So that does leave you basically to try and push anywhere. Now, what are our next objectives? Our next objectives are Siedlce down there. So just generally pushing in that direction doesn't seem like a very stupid idea. On the other hand, we're not going to get any supply down here. That is a big issue. I think we're probably going to build up a rail depot or sort of a truck depot over here once we have got some trucks. I could actually use the Opel Blitz to do that right now. Although it would be wasting a card. Well, wasting, I say. Well, getting down here, it just doesn't feel like we're capturing anything that is worthwhile to capture. We also want to take Białystok at some point, but I do think we're going to be alright there, although it's certainly nice to be able to upgrade our headquarters while we are doing this. Okay, you know what? So how's the supply situation? Currently everyone here is in supply. So you'd be the only one that I would be moving out of supply. We have captured this, but I do think this does take ownership of adjacent to the route, but I think it does not go over the river, so it would not get us a foothold on the other side of the river down here. The Polish are also getting supply from down here, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So that's a supply source here and there. If we can cut them off from this, all of that would potentially fall to us. So that is kind of tempting. And I feel that if we're moving them down here, they wouldn't really do us any good. So let's actually move down here. I think that's fine, yeah, but we're not capturing the other side of the river, so that is unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that you'll be out of supply next turn, but I think it's alright. And we can also spend some reinforcement points here. I think on this infantry is going to be very fine. And maybe on this cavalry too. Let's actually spend 2 points here. You know what, let's actually spend a third point there. I think that's perfectly alright. We do have so many points here, so that's okay. Good. So I think that does settle it. We don't really have any other units to attack, of course, except for this cavalry, but these guys can stay where they are. You can stay where you are. You can't really move up anywhere, so that's fine. You guys really can't move up anywhere either, so you're going to stay where you are. You could attack, but of course that would be suicidal into the city there, so we are not going to do that. So that does mean I think I can and will probably want to move up my headquarters here. Let's get you down here. That should still have you have everything in range, so that's fine. Let's hand it over to the Polish side and see what's going to happen over here. So, a couple of guys retreating. Some cavalry trying to push into our supply lines there. Interesting. I would not expect them to do that, but okay, fine. We are getting some items here. Right, so you guys are currently out of supply, but that's alright. We are still in control of the entire rail line, at least to down here. So that is fairly fantastic. You guys are out of supply, so that's a bit of an issue. Ideally, I mean, is this the turn where we want to take it? No, it's next turn that we'd want to take Siedlce. Right, you guys could move down here if that would be possible. I don't know whether actually that is going to be viable at all. Okay, you guys are actually out of supply as well, so that's unfortunate. Right, and we do need to react to this cavalry here, because I am quite kind of afraid what would happen if they were to get onto our supply lines here. Modlin is fairly well defended, as is Warsaw, of course. We did kind of expect that. And I want to find out whether Siedlce is occupied. I'm thinking that it probably will be, but let's try it. No! Nice! Good! Wow! Excuse me. That is great. That is great because it does cut the rail line here. For now that's meaningless because these guys do still get supply from here and everyone down here gets supply from there. But it does capture our main objective, which is brilliant. That's really nice. That's like super great. Now we do want to take Modlin, Warsaw, Brzeź, and Białystok. These are important targets, especially northern Warsaw, because I think it does allow us to do some other things. Okay, if I move you over here, that definitively does mean that you cannot cross into our terrain, right? So these two axes, if we move over here, yeah, you'll just be blocked by zone of control by this infantry there, so that's fine. We're not getting any reinforcements, so that's okay. We do have some air units, which is interesting. Now we have got some units down here. That's okay. Good. You guys, I think I'm going to stay where you are. Honestly, that's going to be all right. And we can try to circle you guys over here, and potentially even close to Białystok. Okay, you can't move there because there is someone there that is exerting some zone of control. But that's fine. How's our supply looking? Well, it is kind of critical. Yeah, I think what we need to do is actually build up some supply level over here. Now, let's look at that. So if I move you down, that would mean everything over here would go out of supply. That's just basically these two units, right? So that's fine. That would, in theory, be fine. If I then go ahead and... yeah, that would just mean we're getting 2 points next turn. There is a one turn delay, so that is not going to help us. Not by a lot, at least. Now, we do want to get down there. towards Brzechev. That would allow us to gain a card, I think. Bialystok, on the other hand, is an upgrade to one of our headquarter units. I couldn't push through there. I could try to attack you from here. That's an interesting choice. Okay, the cavalry. Where do we want to send the cavalry? Okay, we can send the cavalry on some sort of dash towards down here, I think. Right, so let's try to expand our control here towards Brzechev. That's going to be alright. Good. Now the main fight, I think, will be over these areas down here. Do we want to prioritize Warsaw or Modlin? Modlin, I think, well, Warsaw would have the advantage of cutting their supply. Modlin would mean that we are getting supply a little bit better, but honestly we are getting supply through here anyway, so I think Modlin is going to be the more interesting target right away. But I think you'll not be supplied on the other side of this hex here. Well, what we can do is we can cut their supply. So these guys will now be out of supply. So that is already pretty good. Yeah, I like it. We could suicide ourselves. We are not going to. Are we getting supply here still? Oh, sorry, this. Yeah, okay, so that's fantastic. We are getting supply over there. Great, let's move up the artillery. You could attack. For now it's suicidal, but we can do a set piece attack next turn with our artillery here on Modlin. That's going to be alright. So, at this point we are missing some units down here to try and ultimately storm Warsaw. And that's going to be infantry, a job for the infantry. So, yeah, I think that's alright. What we can do is take our tanks here. Well, connecting up this rail line doesn't really do us any good. But we just might as well try to gain the strategic mobility here. You know what, let's cut into here. Into there. And down there. All of this is going to be horribly undersupplied. But at least we are getting somewhere with our units here. Good. Right. Bring up the motorized brigade towards over here. You're going to be ready to attack that next turn. That's good. I want to bring up more infantry towards down here. You could attack there. Could you also come over here? No. You couldn't cross that river either. You could attack here. But attacking into a city, it just does not feel right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to disrupt their supply coming from down here. Right, okay, let's try to dash forward. That's alright. You're going to be out of supply, but you just might as well capture the enemy supply down there. So that's good. Okay. Very good breakthrough overall here. So that's lovely. You could come over there, but it just doesn't feel worthwhile. How about you guys up here? You're out of supply, unfortunately. So actually, I do want to bring you back into supply, right? Yeah, that must be a high priority. So that you can actually recover your units there. Right, let's get you on the flip side of this. It's going to be okay. And then these tanks... Yeah, attacking here doesn't really seem to make sense to me. So I think that's alright. We just might want to dash at these targets down here. What targets do we actually... Well, we do have these guys down here. We might want to check whether they have some type of... You know what? Yeah, let's actually use our air recon assets towards this area down here. So there is an infantry unit down here. Interesting. We might still try to push through there with our tanks and stuff. You know what? Let's cross over here. No, no, wait a minute. We also have our bombardment group. We could attack Warsaw. Don't think that is going to be very useful, though. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to attack this cavalry here. We're going to suppress it strongly. That does mean you guys can attack and overrun them. Which does mean we can push forward, take some prisoners. That's lovely. Push forward yet again. That's lovely as well. Good. Okay, you guys are now out of supply and out of command range. Which is not ideal. What's your command range anyway? So pretty much everyone except these guys down here. Alright, do we need to emergency resupply anyone? Potentially you. You guys down here, fine. Okay, where's actually our supply limit? Over there. I could emergency resupply the cavalry and hope that it does us good in defeating these guys down there because they're very far away. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So, emergency resupply on you. It's going to cost us a little bit. Fine. Move you up. That's going to be alright. Good. And you guys, likewise, are going to come back into here. And then you guys can also emergency resupply them. Oh, I don't have enough points. Oh, I must have used 1 point. Don't know where I used that, though. Well, it's alright. Good. We can not support anyone except for these guys down here. Where that just might be useful to attack. Can I get a preview or something? No. These guys are strong. They do have artillery. That's about it. But it's like I'm mostly worried actually about this area down here. But our tanks don't really do us that much good. So how about resupplying infantry? Okay, you'd be losing XP, but honestly I think just pumping some items into these guys would be fine. And let's do the same over there. Okay, that's alright then. Good. And since I'm mostly worried about this is where I should send these infantry guys. Good. Alright. So slowly but surely we are getting somewhere. Right. Tanks, what are you going to do? Well, we've got 2 targets over here and 2 over there. This is going to be pretty suicidal to attack with tanks. So instead, let's start to make some headway into here. Connect up all of these rail lines once that they are ready. Okay, fine. You guys stay where you are. Did we forget any unit? You're fine. You're fine. You're certainly fine. Okay, you guys up over here. You are currently out of supply, so we do need to be mindful about that. Can we withdraw to a point where we'd be still guarding the entire line here and getting supply? Answer is unfortunately not really. On the other hand, these guys should be out of supply soon as well. So it's a single turn for now, but I think we can withdraw over here. We don't need to attack these guys. There'd be no point basically in doing that, I think. Good. Alright. That's it. That's it for this turn. Let's see what the Polish are going to do. Ah, interesting. You're moving out and back in. That's interesting. That was probably just to cut our supply that's flowing down here. Well, very interesting. So that does mean a lot of our guys here are out of supply. It's okay, though. It's okay, I think. We are almost on the verge of taking Bialystok. That's alright. You guys down here should be out of supply now. That's okay. Good. You guys are starting to take some losses there. We do need to be mindful about these guys. And I'm guessing that you could do the set piece attack over here. And you could do a set piece attack over here? No, because you're not just infantry. I tend to forget that all of the time. Alright, that's alright. We can also build a new supply depot. And I'm thinking that we probably want to build it somewhere over here. So that it does really nicely extend as far down here as possible. Yeah, seems reasonable to me. Here or here? Probably the same, isn't it? Yeah, that's a very nice setup here. So you guys are going to be in supply there. That's fine. Any Polish supply opportunities that we should be mindful about? Not really. So we can get all the way down here. We could attack Briech. Would be a little bit without a point though. You guys are going to suffer from being out of supply next turn. But maybe we can deal with these guys up here already. Maybe, just maybe. So that would be decent attack chances. We don't need to be too concerned about them, I think. We've also got the cavalry. How about you guys? Yeah, basically you're going to suicide on that. So these guys down there, we do need infantry to deal with them. The tanks are not going to be enough. The tanks could potentially disrupt their supply coming from here, though. Although that's a bit of a stretch. But it just might be alright. Right, let's see about that. Okay, let's start by looking at the flank over here, I think. Right. We cannot allow them to come anywhere near that line. You guys are pretty much out of supply, though. We can't get you in supply. We could emergency supply you. But I think we want to start out with a set piece attack here. It's going to reduce some of their capabilities, but I'm mostly hoping that it will reduce their entrenchment. And since they are out of supply, they should not be able to recover that. Reached, and we did suppress a little bit of their guys. So that's at least a start. Ah, you can't attack across here anyway. Okay, there's no bridge to repair. We could do a river crossing, but you couldn't attack across here. The river crossing is only possible with some proper infantry, right? Right. Interesting. You're not getting supply anywhere, that's okay. We could move forward, but there's really no point in attacking these guys here. You guys out down here are going to be fine. At least once that supply depot has been established. Capturing this road, I think, does not do anything for us. But let's just briefly look at these guys over here. Yeah, well, at least it's not detrimental either. So yeah, let's get you over here. And then how does it look now? Decent-ish. At least you are on supply over here, so that's okay. Right. Right, let's... I know I'm jumping a little bit all over the place here, but I think we're going to start here by attacking Bialystok, simply because it clears up a lot of things for us. So, let's move the motorized infantry down here. It's going to be one-on-one casualties with a 10% chance to retreat. Maybe it's about to jump for the cavalry? Although the cavalry is the one unit that I can move down there very aggressively. How many turns have we got? We are on turn 6 out of 8. You could move there, 7, 8, potentially attack once. Cavalry could do a little bit better, I think. Right, let's get the infantry in. Let's do an attack here. We are losing a unit there, but that's okay. Let's do attack you. Chances are you're going to retreat, but you're not actually doing that. Which is unfortunate. Right, okay. In that case, bring up you guys. Do kill them. That's fine. Thank you. Move the motorized guys in. We're going to get a upgrade here for our headquarters. That's fine. Specialized no retreat? No, we don't need that. 7 command points would be nice, but honestly, emergency supplies? Yes, we do want that. That's for sure. Good. Okay, you guys can't really move up anywhere, so that's just gonna be that way. Fine, I guess. Let's move you down here. And you guys are fine where you are, I think. Right. Good. Cavalry. Just where exactly does our supply end? Pretty much on that hex. So, yeah, I do not want to move you any further than that. Fine. You're okay there. That does leave these tanks. So there's another enemy unit over there, but that's okay. These guys down here are going to be tough to break. We only have our tanks. They're not going to do the job. Nevertheless, let's try to move you guys over here. Again, doesn't really do us any good. It's going to suppress them somewhat. But notice that they actually did move out of the city. And that does mean that these guys did not dig in. So I'm actually going to call in the air support here on Warsaw itself, hoping to not put the city to ruins. We didn't. On the other hand, we didn't do any damage, so good. Let's attack with you. One unit lost. That's okay-ish, I think. Let's send you around over here. Grab some prisoners there. That's alright. Let's move you guys up. We could attack. Suicidal. Absolutely suicidal. Suicidal again. So honestly, that's not going to get us anywhere. We do need better supply. We desperately do need better supply. Well, this is coming here at least. And you're extending towards over there, but probably we don't actually need these guys anymore, do we? Yeah, well, we do need them over here. Otherwise this wouldn't be supplied. So yeah, no. It's just a no. Unfortunate. That does mean you guys are going to be out of supply next turn, but I think it's alright. Right, you guys over here. You're going to be supplied anyway, due to this supply depot, so I think that's alright. Don't need to be too concerned with you then. You guys fine where you are. But I could actually move you back into supply range here and try to boost you a little bit by giving you some reinforcements. Speaking of reinforcements, we can give some to you. Anywhere where we need emergency resupply, we could give emergency resupplies to you. We do have the points. Let's do give them to you. That's fine. That does allow you to move up a little bit over here, attack you. Did lose a unit there, but I think it's alright. Yeah, you guys are going to stick where you are. And all in all, that's it. That's it for this turn, so let's see what they are going to do. 2 more turns. We did some good progress down there. Damn it! Why could you do that? Why could you do that? You should not be able to do that. You were moving through a zone of control hacks. I refuse to believe that that was legitimate. That was not a legitimate move. We should have had zone of control. Oh, that's annoying. That is incredibly annoying. Right. Okay, 2 more turns. Let's see what we've got, especially up over here. My oh my, that was annoying. Okay, so down here, we've got a couple of units. These guys do get supply from here and here, basically. That does mean, if I move you over here, we're going to be completely out of supply. But if I get you, that's going to be alright. Good. Let's try to move you forward as fast as possible. Likewise, how far can you guys go? You can go right over here. Let's do that. Let's bring all of these troops down here as fast as possible. There's going to be some issue, but I think we can resolve it. Right, how's the supply looking? Horrible. Horrible is the answer. We could try to extend this, but it wouldn't do us any good, I think. Unless we do somehow take this area here. Now, Northern Warsaw is a key railway junction, but unless we do get Modlin, it's going to be meaningless. Let's start by a set piece attack here. We have a 50% chance of getting them to retreat. We only have a 10% chance with a normal thing here. You guys are out of supply. What can we do? We've got only 4 points here. We do use 1 for the set piece attack. And I'm not sure why I cannot do logistics. Because somehow you were actually out of supply yourself. That move was so annoying. You just have to, just 1 second, and the AI does that to you. Okay, so let's try to do this set piece attack, hope that they're going to withdraw. And they are. And they are, so that does mean we can take the city of Modlin. We're going to get resupplied all of these units because they lost their supply depot. So that's actually fantastic news for us. That's really, really great. Nice. And that also means that we're going to be resupplied here very easily now at this point. Good. I like it. Very, very nice. How does our supply situation look like? Everywhere here it's okay-ish. We are getting some additional resupplies. Is that it? Yes, some additional artillery. Lovely. I would certainly like to use that. And potentially I want to put it on you. No, can't do that. Why not? Because you're full? Is that it? German infantry. Why can you not use the artillery here? Let's try to find out. Total artillery. Compatible with Germany. These guys are German. Interesting. Right. What can we do about Northern Warsaw? If we can take out Northern Warsaw, all of our supply situation down there will become a lot better. I think what we have to do is try to attack them via air. Well, that worked out greatly, didn't it? It did not. Right. These tanks are a little bit pointless, right? So we might actually want to move the tanks up here and sort of exchange that around. Yeah, let's move up the infantry to here. Tanks are going to switch towards over here. Tanks can actually try to drive these guys back a little bit. And that's alright. Good. And we can try to capture these prisoners next turn. Right, that does leave the situation here a little bit exposed with Warsaw itself. Unfortunately, there's not really much that we can do to attack them except for brutally just trying to push our way through. Which is not necessarily very elegant. Right, let's try to connect up this rail line. If we can take them out, we should be able to get all the way towards down here. But that's a big if. You guys have all pretty much moved to the point where you can. You could get a couple of prisoners. You could also try to move down there. You know what? Let's try to get the prisoners. I think it might give us some points. So that's going to be lovely and useful. Good. You cannot emergency resupply. You cannot do a set piece attack. Because there's none to be done. You can't really support these units down here because they're not in range. So I think the next logical thing here is to try to move you down towards that direction. Anything else that we might want to do? I think all of the bridges are fine. River crossings, not necessary. Entrenchments, fortifications. No, I think not. Reorganization step? No. We can move some things around. Why can't we... I'm really bothered by the fact that we cannot move artillery to this unit here. Or that one, for the matter. Okay, anyway, let's get you on the move. You're going to be moved down here. That does not really extend the range towards you guys down there, but I think it's fine. Good. Anything else that we can still move? With the motorized equipment down here. Penalty City. I think we're going to wait until next turn to see what we can do there. Unfortunately, that does mean we're not going to get any supply down there. But I think it might be alright. Can you push forward? No, you can't. Okay, let's see about that. So we are on turn 8 of 8, the final one here. Northern Warsaw is going to be our main objective here. So let's try to bomb it. 2 suppressed, that is a good result. Happy about that. 2 to 1. 2 to 1. 1 on 1. You'd be suiciding yourself. So that's not going to happen. Okay. Can we do a set piece attack by anyone? No. We could move you up, but you would lose your artillery support. So that's not going to work. Okay, so let's try to attack. We're going to take more casualties than they are. And we actually took more than anticipated. But we did make it in Warsaw. Here we go. Maybe we should have tried last turn, but we didn't suppress them last turn. So, yeah, I think this is perfectly alright. Good. So, since this is the last turn, let's try to capture these prisoners. Let's try to gain some experience here. Capture more prisoners. Can I capture you? Yes, capture more prisoners. Let's try to advance over here. And capture ever more prisoners. Well, fine. Okay, so that has all been dealt with. You guys are fine down there. Everything is alright here. You guys just move down there, but I think you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah. It's alright. But the supply should flow all the way down there. Yeah, but it's just not going to be enough to actually support these guys. Now, what I had hoped to do, actually, was to... I cannot use that. Are you not in supply range? What I would have expected is to take out the supply depot here. Yeah, and this would just be suicidal moves. Fine, fine, fine. If only we could have gotten this. Or get a little bit more support. Now we could of course try to use the bombers, but just doesn't feel worth it. So frankly, I think we'll have to be alright over here. They might have another attack chance here on these tanks. It's such a shame that you just can't get down there. Yeah, and this is pure suicide. So that it's not even reducing their capabilities a slight bit. Yeah, there's just no chance that we can't get down there. Nothing that the headquarter can do. Nope. It's just out of the question. So, unfortunately, we are not going to get that objective. I think there's just no way to do that. And I'm hoping that we're not going to lose these units due to the out of supply situation. So, primary objective taken on time, Modlin. Yeah, that's nice. And various other things. Only Bridgefte here we did not get. Casualties -28. Oh, so that's a nice setup. Yeah, so we do get a lot of prestige here for taking prisoners. Only casualties are a little bit high, but you know what? I think I'm fine with that. So the next time we are going to look at the Polish plane down here and see whether we are going to get the main attack right. That being said, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like and all of that, and I hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.